registering a domain name to create a business around those. Bargaining power of customers, immense on the internet, right? I mean, your competition is a click away, the other products are a click away. So bargaining power of the customers vis-a-vis even your site or whatever you're offering is immense. So essentially what I'm trying to establish or get across is that, if I look at it from a conventional perspective, I would say, hey, I mean, this business, it's very risky. Yes, absolutely. It's extremely risky to get into an internet business. But that is where, along with the risk, you have the returns, right? I mean, Google's valuations today are about $150, $200 billion, right? And their top line, I think, is about $2 billion a quarter. These kind of multiples of valuations are not to be had with a conventional company. And I'm talking about valuation of a company, when a company, you value a company and what is the total worth of a company. So if, for example, I was to value a Tata Steel, which is listed on the stock exchange, it would be quoting today at a multiple of, when the index is so high, it would be quoting on a multiple of 10 times of their earnings, right? But a Naukri, for example, would be quoting easily on a 75 to 100 times of their earnings of last 12 months, right? So that is how the risk and return profile works. So what are the key drivers of business, really? To start a business, what does it take? Obviously, it takes people, which are you, right? I mean, if anybody wants to be an entrepreneur, you require you and a set of people to run that business. And the three key pegs that you require apart from the people is the idea, execution capabilities of how do you really go about executing the idea, and the capital. The good news is in the earlier days, the capital was a big deterrent. Okay, if I had a beautiful business idea 10 years back, 15 years back, these terms were not even heard of. Private equity, venture capitalists, angel investors. Right? Today we have all of these people available, who could back people who have good ideas, who can fund people. So if you have a good idea, you have a proven success story, or you've shown capabilities of executing it, there are people, so capital is not really a factor anymore. There is enough capital chasing enough good ideas these days. So what is important is obviously the people and idea and execution, really, right? And obviously overarching theme is the passion, as I said earlier. You have to have a passion to create a business, and passion should be what should be driving you. So I thought I'll take a look at the internet and try to give a perspective on what internet businesses straddle across. And if you look at it, I can say that there are 3 C's of internet, and most of the businesses would fall within one of these C's, which is connect. When I'm actually, internet as a medium is allowing me to connect with other people. So whether it's email, whether it's instant messaging, whether it's blogging, whether it's photo sharing, etc. So I'm basically connecting with people. Then you have content. A lot of us use internet to consume content, whether it's news, whether it's views, opinions, etc. Or commerce, right? And I would say that, broadly, any internet-related business would fall into these 3 categories. So, and how does monetization happen? So, fine, on one side you have the kinds of businesses or the categories of business. The monetizing essentially on internet is, again, there are 2 major sides of it: advertising and transactions. I've taken subscriptions actually in transactions, so can we go back a bit, please? One step back, yeah. So advertising revenues and transaction revenue. So any e-commerce site, like let's say a Yatra, Make My Trip, which is a travel site, or let's say an India Times Shopping or a Rediff Shopping, any of these, or Future Bazaars, etc. They are all transaction-led sites, or even IRCTC. They make money when you actually buy things off the site. This is, in terms of ratio, I think advertising is a much larger revenue stream. So people really, and that's where most of the businesses are focusing towards, getting eyeballs, getting customers, trying to create sticky communities, sticky users, sticky applications, so that people come and engage, interact with the content and connect angles, and try to monetize it by selling advertising, right? So selling banners, selling text links, tenancy deals, etc., etc. I'm sure some of the previous sessions would have covered the base when they talked about online marketing, what are the kind of different formats of online advertising. So essentially, what are the business models that today as entrepreneurs I and all of us present in this room can gun for? One is obviously the models that are established globally, We have the benefit of India being, what, about 6-7 years behind US. So it's good that we can actually learn from the models that are working and replicate it in the Indian context. So the travel portals in India have done a very good job there. They've replicated the success stories of an Expedia, of a Travelocity, etc., etc., and created, local Indian offerings like Yatra, like Make My Trip, Travel Guru, Clear Trip, etc. Right? So these are essentially taking learnings from a successful model operating elsewhere, localizing, customizing it in the Indian context, and delivering a business around that. Networking sites. So, I mean, you have a whole host of the Web 2.0 businesses, as they are called, the broad genre, which is, amongst that is networking sites. So everybody is looking, and very excited with the success of an Orkut or a Facebook, and trying to create the local versions of, Orkut or Facebook. So adapted to local environment, you can actually go a step further and really adapt the entire idea towards, more and more local offering. So take a look at the jobs or the matrimonial portals here. They've done a damn good job, whether it's a Naukri or whether it's Monster India, whether it's a Shadi, Bharat Matrimony, Simply Marry, etc. They're all doing reasonably good amounts of businesses today, because what they've done is they've taken, the models like matrimony, for example. Matrimony doesn't exist anywhere else. Globally, it's called dating. It's called, personals, right? Where essentially it is Match.com or YouDate, etc. There are 3-4 such large sites globally, which essentially they don't have the concept of matrimony. They have a concept of dating, casual dating, long-term dating, etc., etc. But here, obviously, dating doesn't work. None of the Indian dating sites have really taken off. I was with India Times, and there was a site called Live to Love, which still exists, which is a dating site, or I think Rediff also had a dating site. But none of them have really taken off because there is a social taboo around dating. Okay, the moment you talk about dating, you think it's frivolous, right? It's a bunch of leery men, trying to chase innocent women, right? So that was the kind of concept which, was there. So typically in terms of profile, there would be 10 male profiles and versus 1 female profile. Dating cannot exist. I mean, a business cannot exist, if you're trying to, create a business around dating. So therefore, look at matrimonial, which is actually, if you see, a lot of matrimonial sites, the ads are being given by boys and girls themselves. They're looking for a life partner. They may not be looking for a life partner, still their profiles are there. They may say that, fine, I want to date the person, I want to go around with the person for 6 months, and then decide whether I want to marry the person or not. It's a power of choice. It was not available earlier, right? But that is how matrimonial businesses are making money for themselves. And they're making a lot of money because they have a lot of profiles now coming every day on these matrimonial sites. Propositions that address specifically local needs. Now, this is a very broad statement, and I don't really see too many Indian businesses focusing on, internet businesses focusing on this aspect. And I think that's a huge opportunity area. If any of us wants to get into, a business model, I would say this is a good starting point. You look at a need which is there existing in India and try to see if you can create an offering around that. And that would be, I think, one of the areas where a successful business can be created. Since the session is online marketing, I just thought that I will share a slide which we use in our presentations and give you a perspective of how do advertisers reach their consumers online or their potential customers. So if you look at it, it's a nice fan-looking diagram which says, on one side you have consumers and the other side is a website of an advertiser. And the ways to reach is horizontal verticals, which is called banner advertising. So portals like India Times, Rediff, Yahoo, MSN, etc., etc. So you have banners, etc., or tenancy deals, which is, the genre is called display advertising. So you can reach your consumers through advertising, doing display advertising. You have affiliate marketing. I will talk about affiliate marketing. It's a concept that we've introduced in India. We are the first affiliate network in India as DGM. Then you have search. I think